If you want to know how to get corporate clients as a solo expert or the CEO of a boutique firm, it all starts with carving out your competitive advantage in the marketplace. And in this video, I'm going to break down for you the competitive advantages that you bring as a small business owner in this marketplace. And before we go, I'll share with you the ultimate competitive advantage that puts you on a whole different playing level and brings it all together. So let's start first by zooming out and looking at just how big this opportunity is when it comes to the corporate training marketplace. And I'm going to share with you some specific figures because it really is just a huge opportunity for small business owners. So the global training market was valued at over $390 billion for 2025, and that number is expected to grow to $500 billion by the year 2030. That means in the next couple of years, we're talking about $500 billion that's being spent developing leaders and employees inside of companies on everything from hard skills, technical skills, to those power skills, or what used to be called soft skills. And that is a big opportunity if you're a consultant, you're a professional services provider, you're a leadership coach, or you're a trainer. This is a marketplace that just keeps getting bigger. In fact, nearly every company on the planet is saying that the vast majority of their leaders and their people will need to be either reskilled or upskilled because of AI transforming everything in our world. And here's something else to know too. There's not one company on the planet that owns more than 1% of the employee training marketplace. That means the field is wide open. In addition to that, companies are spending a lot of money with those outside service providers, those outside training companies. Over 56% of all of the money that companies spend developing their people and their leaders is spent with outside trainers and training companies. And a big portion of that goes to businesses that have under 10 trainers in them. Meaning, if you're a solo expert, like a keynote speaker or a coach, this is a great place for you to play. And companies don't think that you're not qualified just because you're a small provider. There's lots of opportunities for you at that table. So then the question becomes, how do you compete in the global training market when you're a solo expert or a boutique firm, especially when you know that there are brands out there like LinkedIn Learning and Masterclass that provide training as a commodity, very low cost, that's available on demand? What is your space in the marketplace? And that's what we're going to take a look at. So how can you carve out a competitive differentiation for you if you are a boutique firm or even just a solo expert? The first thing that you can do is you can really make one of your competitive differentiators about customization. You can customize training in ways that a lot of these providers have no interest in doing. When LinkedIn Learning makes a training course available, it's as is, and part of that is baked into the fact that they're just expecting to sell it to as many organizations as absolutely possible. As a small business owner, you really want to go the other direction. You want to offer customization to organizations, and you can customize it based on their industry or the sector that they're in. You can customize it to a specific type of a team, a specific type of role or job description inside an organization, or customize it for a particular department. You can customize your training in terms of the language that it's in or the terminology that's being used, or even sensitivities that some companies have about, oh, we don't talk about it that way. We only talk about it inside our organization this way. You have the ability to customize your training to that. You can customize it based on people assessment results. So if you're someone who uses a DISC assessment or a Colby assessment or predictive index or a Hogan assessment, you can use those assessment results in order to really tailor the content to those leaders or those employees based on how they're built or what they need most based on those assessment results. You can customize it based on time constraints. Maybe an organization only has a half day and they need something condensed to fit into a larger meeting that they're having. Or maybe their leaders need training in just 30 minutes a day while they're on a lunch break. So you can take that information and break it down to that exact allotted time that they've given you. You can customize it based on goals, key performance indicators, or strategic initiatives. You can customize it based on relevant examples or scenarios that are specific to that industry or even to that company specifically, or to their preferred delivery format or platform that they want to use for the training. The next thing that you can customize is with live interaction. You could have real-time Q&A or polling. You can have small group breakouts, large group exercises. You can do practice and feedback sessions, live coaching or hot seat moments, participant presentations, where you ask the participants in the training to get up and present what they've learned or to actually show that they've mastered the skill or knowledge that you're training them on. You can give them field assignments with the opportunity to get feedback on those assignments. Bringing in that live interaction is something that you can do as a small firm combined with that customization to help your training clients get even better results. The third way that you can create a competitive differentiator is by making your training workshops experiential. You can take the employees or the leaders out of their day-to-day work environment into a new space to give them something to do and also to create new dynamics. It's amazing what happens when we're not stuck in our office. We've seen successful trainers incorporate things like art studios, cooking or baking schools, taking learners to a theater and putting them up on a stage or putting them in a television studio and using cameras. We even know trainers who take leaders to places like Normandy and other historic locations around the world to really put them in the environment of moments that were demanding or exhilarating. We've seen folks use sports stadiums and racetracks, ropes courses and obstacle courses, or even picking employees or leaders up and putting them at a luxury resort or a beach. Getting people out of their day-to-day environment is a really powerful thing to do. You can even involve animals. We have executive coaches and others in our Bold House community who use things like work with horses in order to help leaders understand their presence and how they're showing up. And of course, you can differentiate with the follow-on support that you bring to training programs. And this is really important because of the forgetting curve. One of the biggest complaints that decision makers have is that when they invest in working with outside trainers and experts, it's great, everyone loves it, and for a few days they notice a behavior change. But as time goes on, everyone forgets the learning. So it's your job as an outside expert to incorporate ways to help those learners take the new information and actually create new behaviors and habits that last. And some great ways to do that are through things like one-on-one coaching sessions, learning nuggets and learning nudges, open office hours, follow-up sessions that are conducted 30, 60, 90 days after the training, providing implementation support. So while they're actually implementing, there's a way that they can get help from you, the outside expert, giving them field assignments that they can then get some feedback from you on, hosting mastermind groups, or even online discussion groups over tools like Slack or other communication tools. All of this is going to reduce how much information those learners forget, and that's a big deal to decision makers who are taking valuable time and resources to invest in training. And the last way that you can really carve out your competitive differentiator is to lean into the fact that you are an expert who is delivering this information. Presumably, this is information that you've either developed from scratch or highly customized for your clients. You're not just someone who signed up to be a trainer, is handed information, and is taught how to deliver the content, but has no depth of experience with the context and the information itself. And so you really want to point this out to decision makers. You, as an expert deliverer of this training content, can be highly responsive, agile, and fast in getting this content in the hands of the leaders and the employees and really making it substantive. You're bringing current real-world experience. You're a seasoned pro and a subject matter expert who is at the front of the room, which means the questions that you're fielding are going to get very robust answers. You have the ability to pivot in the moment to what's happening in that classroom. You're able to provide continuous learning. You're going to continue to learn about that organization and incorporate it into the programs that you're delivering to them. You're going to be able to bring insights from across numerous clients and industries, and they're going to get that direct access to the ultimate expert, which is you. And again, that's not the case when these companies are working with much bigger competitors or are investing in on-demand training that was created once and is being used by millions of people. It's totally different bespoke approach when they get you, the expert, with them for a day or for months. So those are some of the ways that you can really provide added value as a solo expert or a boutique firm to these companies and really carve out a space for you against some bigger competitors that aren't going to provide this level of customization, expertise, responsiveness, and unique experience to companies today. Now, this is how to differentiate yourself, but now let's look at how you can actually design courses to sell to companies so that you're not stuck in a once and done scenario. I've put the link to that video right below, and it's what you're going to want to check out next if you're serious about tapping into this multi-$100 billion marketplace. I've put that link right below, and I'll see you there in just a minute.